Can you fight the billionaires from Coach? The answer is apparently no from Bernie Sanders, who's getting heat for flying private jets to and from his Fighting the Oligarchs rally with AOC. Check out this explanation.
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
No, it doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United, waiting, 30,000 people are waiting? That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
According to the FEC, the Sanders campaign committee has spent more than $200,000 on his private jets just in the last quarter. That is actually quite a lot of money. I have to say this. My very first story out of Washington for Politico was about a politician, Chuck Schumer, flying on private jets, and I am here today to tell the tale, but which is not saying a lot for politicians. I mean, Chuck, tell me what the moment was in that answer that you thought, oh, this is going wrong.
The United thing, because we all you're a man of the people. How dare I have to be with the people, right? Mm-hmm. That's what, look, it's a cheap question. It's a smart alecky question. So it wasn't a serious question. It was kind of trolly. But his answer was terrible. Like, you can't defend this answer. Hey, buddy, we all have to stand in line. We all have to do this. Even if you have 1K privileges, you're still standing in line. You still have to do this. You got to go through security.
It definitely came across as like, I'm not going to stand in this line with the peons.
And did you hear him? He mentioned Trump. Well, I'll remind him, Donald Trump, doesn't he own his plane? That is much different than Bernie Sanders going around on the plane. I think that this is something very, Donald Trump, and the point was right that Brett made, is that he fights against the oligarchy and the rich. He wants to tax all of the rich. And a similar thing to even Bill Gates, who also flies around on his private plane, and he has these concerns about the environment. I think many people look at this and say, well, you're a hypocrite. And I'll say to everybody at home, whether it's a president, whether it's Bernie, vice president, any politician will love to ride on a private plane, and they'll probably do it until they can't stop doing it.
No one's asked the question, what's the carbon footprint of this private jet,
I mean, private jets have a very bad carbon footprint.
That's actually why
Democrats at the party of that, they have those
But I don't think he's wrong, though, that he's campaigning, right?
Yes.
He's going from rally to rally. I've covered a lot of campaigns. Everybody flies private, including the press, because you cannot make those stops commercial. But it was how the answer came out that I think made it an issue.
This is what I have said a long time, is that I don't actually have a problem with people being billionaires. It's the type of billionaire you are. I want to, that's the American dream, to start out in middle class and go up the economic ladder. I think when you're saying there should be no billionaires, well, billionaires fly on private jets. That is where I understand what he was saying is it's a means to end because he has to get a lot of places. But the whole story arc is either you fly what is
Or make a schedule that allows you to fly
and don't hit as many places as once, or don't knock the billionaires.
I could argue the symbolism of going through. I'm old enough to remember John McCain grabbing his suitcase on his own, going and proving, hey, I'm not wasting money.
Yeah.